to introduce our guests today, CM Hall. Good morning. CM is joining us today. I believe you said you saw us in the newspaper a few times. And CM is on the budget committee at City Hall, on the committee running. And in fact, I'm on the Parks and Recreation Committee, and we've received the recommendation for getting out passes to the rec center, and that is supposed to be happening in the water. Yeah. So very good. Thank you very much. With that, we have one award to present. Our Vice President of Education isn't here, and our Vice President of Membership isn't here, but our Vice President of PR is the one receiving the award, and so you can help me with awarding Advanced Communicator Silver to Laura Lee Norris. All right. And that will also be going in the paper so people like CM can read it and go, oh, I should go to Toastmasters. Mm-hmm. Well, if you can help me welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Christina Book she stepped in at the last minute. So on Sunday, we were told that our Toastmaster of the day was not going to be able to be Toastmaster. Christina sent me an email saying, do I have to be at a certain level in order to be able to be Toastmaster? I was like, no, you can come on up here and do this. So this will be her first Toastmaster. So help me welcome Christina Book as our Toastmaster. All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I am very excited to be Toastmaster today, and glad that I get this fun opportunity to. Our theme for today is Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins entered our lives in the 1960s, 1964 to be specific. It is a movie about a magical nanny who brought music, adventure, and laughter into the lives of a broken family. Many of us, if we watched it, we found ourselves singing the songs, singing the lyrics, thinking of those as we went through our childhood and adulthood. Remembering sometimes we need to go fly a kite, sometimes we need a spoonful of sugar when necessary, and that sometimes silly words can give us confidence and permission to act a little silly. It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it might sound quite precocious, if you say it loud enough, it may not sound atrocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Because I was afraid to speak when I was just a gal, my father took my nose a tweak and told me I was bad. But then one day I learned a word that saved my aching nose. The biggest word I've ever heard. And this is how it goes. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Anyone want to try? All right. So our rules for today, we have our timer, Svetlana. Svetlana, can you introduce what your role is?
Yes. So my role today is to help you watch the time, because you know Toastmasters are happy people, and happy people do not watch time. I'll help you with that. And here are my devices, my timing devices. If my lighting is light enough, yes, this is what you will see when your timing is good. This is where you have to start thinking of wrapping up, and here you have to stop. I also have a fly swatter. That's if you go over, really over your time, then I will show you this fly swatter. That's it.
Thank you. Julia is going to mirror Svetlana with times, just in case speakers are looking this direction and don't see. So Julia's going to be helping you out with that, Svetlana. Our grammarian for today is Lori. Lori, can you tell us a little bit about your role and what you're doing today?
Gladly. My role as grammarian is to listen for particularly good or according to the English language, how things like ums and ahs, and then also who says the word of the day. Today's word of the day is labor, which means insincere to the point of being deceitful or showing a little forethought or preparation. Watch your language. Politicians need to do more than provide clear answers.
Excellent. Very nice. Our table topic speaker for today is Brian Norris. Brian, can you tell us a little bit about what you do as table topics?
I will. Today, I have for your entertainment and to tickle your mind, I have some questions about Mary Hopkins. Hopkins. And last night, I was having some confusion of Mary Poppins songs, and then for some reason, I kept thinking Go Red Me. But that was her in a different role. So we are going to make sure that we stick with the Mary Poppins, and those that are going to be getting some questions might even think about what Poppins is.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Poppins.
Thank you very much, Brian. Our general evaluator today, a maiden voyage of being a general evaluator, is Lakota. Lakota, can you tell us a little about what your role is today?
Yeah, you bet. So my role is to evaluate the meeting in general, looking for things like timing and flow and transitions, and then also to offer evaluations to people who haven't had a chance to get an evaluation yet. So like the Toastmaster and the Timekeeper and Grammarian and Table Topics Master and the speech evaluators.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lakota. All right, ladies and gents, comical poem. Suitable for the occasion, exemplarized, and thought of before your very eyes. All right, here we go. Dave Kaufman is our first speaker today. His evaluator is going to be all of us. We are going to be doing a round robin evaluation for Dave today. So please take notes of your evaluations. When it gets time for his evaluation, we are going to offer the opportunity for whoever wants to give a short evaluation to Dave. He is going to be speaking this Saturday at the divisional contest. Dave has competed in many speech contests, finished many of the advanced manuals, and has chosen one of his things that he's gotten out of Toastmasters is self-confidence in how he speaks. He also says we might be a little less formal than some other clubs, but it makes it pretty fun. Dave's time is going to start just before he comes up, so please start the time when he's ready. Welcome, Dave, and his speech, Half the Man I Used to Be.
5 to 7 minutes.
I don't hear any applause.
Yay!
Just 1 minute. Somebody's missing today. I knew it wasn't going to be here. And to be perfectly honest, I'm glad he's not here because I never liked that person very much anyway. I knew he wasn't going to be here because I got rid of him so thoroughly that no one was ever going to see that guy again. Now, the Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, I guess. That person is the other Dave Kaufman. That Dave Kaufman, they used to weigh as much as 450 pounds. That Dave Kaufman who once had to buy 2 tickets to fly on an airplane because he literally took up 2 seats on the airplane. That other Dave Kaufman actually used to wear these silly looking clothes that I'm wearing today. These were his clothes. This 5X shirt was his shirt. These size 60 pants were his pants. In those days, I was almost as big around as I was tall. And these are the underwear I used to wear. But that other Dave Kaufman is gone forever. The new Dave Kaufman is half the man he used to be. You couldn't be happier about it. As I begin to tell you the story today, I'm going to go all the way back to when I used to be a fairly skinny guy. When I first got out of the Army in 1970, I weighed 170 pounds. I was in pretty good shape. I had just spent 2 years in Vietnam. I was coming back to college. At the University of Oregon, they decided that I was having some severe mood swings. Sometimes I was just downright surly and unfriendly to other people. So they made me go to a psychiatrist for an evaluation. And he decided that I was suffering from chronic depression. Later on, that would be termed post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's what it really is. People deal with depression in different ways, and millions and millions of people deal with it weight gain like I do. They start eating too much. They eat their way out of depression because when you eat things that you enjoy eating, it releases endorphins, which gives you a temporary feeling of, I feel good. The only trouble is it doesn't last. And you have to eat some more to keep that feeling up. I got this habit of eating too much. Now, at first, I could lose the weight. And I'd lose it, and then I would gain it back again, and lose it, gain it back again. And each time, the weight gain would be a little bit more than the last time. And it was harder to take off the next time. This went on for over 40 years. It was in 2012 when I was weighing about 100, only about 141 pounds or 240 pounds at that time, that I started to have hip problems. I had a very worn out and very painful hip. I couldn't get around without a walker or without canes. I was in so much pain all the time that I knew I had to do something. And so I went to see an orthopedic surgeon to see about what we could do about my hip. And he said, yes, you've got a very bad hip, but I can't do a replacement on you unless you lose about 200 pounds. Because at your current weight, you won't be able to handle the rehab that's involved. Well, that inspired me to go out promptly and gain another 30 pounds. Over the next 8 months, I was up now to 450 pounds, and that's when I had about atrial fibrillation, another name for kind of a heart attack. I found myself in the hospital for 3 weeks. And that 3 weeks, I had time to think about what had been going on in my life. I had, for the last 40-some years, been trying to commit suicide with a knife and a spoon. And I knew that if I didn't do something about it now, I was really going to succeed in killing myself. I got really serious then about trying to lose weight. I went on a diet. I got as much exercise as I could get with the bad hips. And after 2 years, I had lost a total of 38 pounds. Now, that's actually not too bad. But I could do the math and realize that before I could lose the rest of the weight I needed to get my hip replaced, it was going to take me another 8 years. And I didn't think I could stand the pain that long. So I went to see about getting stomach bypass surgery. I went to a bariatric surgeon. Bariatric just means weight loss. And he told me that he didn't normally do that on someone my age, but I needed to lose about another 40 pounds to prove I could do it. And then he would do the surgery. With the help of their nutritionist, I was able to lose that 40 pounds in only 6 weeks. I was immediately put on the scale and got the stomach bypass operation. And it was only 6 months after that, when I was down to 260 pounds, that I realized I can get a hip replacement. I went to the doctor and he said, oh, it's about time. And we went in and we got the hip replacement. I woke up in the hospital and instantly realized that there was no more pain. I wasn't hurting anymore. That night, I was wandering the halls, pestering all the nurses on duty, flirting with all the girls that I met. I felt so good. After I got out of the hospital, it was only a month later when I was able to get rid of that walker and never use it again. I was on the road to recovery. That's when I realized that, hey, I am now after than I used to be. And I thought about how I have gotten there. As I take off these clothes today, so many years later, I kind of feel like a butterfly wiggling out of its cocoon to emerge a beautiful new creature. I may not be quite so beautiful, but I am a brand new creature. That old Dave Crawford is gone forever. Not only is he gone, but all the health problems that he used to have, the atrial fibrillation, the high blood pressure, all of that is all behind me now with those old clothes. I am now half the man I used to be. I couldn't be happier about it. Madam Toastmaster.
Excellent. You guys take a quick second, finish up your notes for Dave. We'll be giving evaluations after. Svetlana, what was Dave's time? I think you're muted, Svetlana.
The time was 7 minutes and 5 seconds.
Okay, thank you. All right, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. When you find fun, snap. The job is a game. Laura Lee has been a Toastmaster since 2015, starting because of a public speaking class that she took in college. In 2016, she was elected Public Relations Officer of the Yakuta Toastmasters, a role she has held for the last 2 years. As the Vice President of Public Relations, her role is to keep up with both social and traditional media. An optional part of her role is to run a campaign for the club. In August, she started her campaign, and she, as her high performance leadership project, which is required for Advanced Leadership Silver Award. From what we are understanding, nobody has actually done this level of the high performance leadership project in our club in the last 10, 20? About 20 years. So this is a great achievement for our club and for Laura Lee. Her speech today is called Building Bridges, and it's focusing on her recent public relations campaign that she ran with her public relations team. Her speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and her evaluator is Krista Colway. Please welcome Laura Lee. If I told you back in August that we would have online members, that we would be in the newspaper and on the radio, you probably would have called me crazy. However, as I stand before you today, all of these things have happened. In August, I started a public relations campaign, and I began focusing on 3 things: online, publications, and what I like to call greeting the people. The goal of this campaign was to help build bridges between Flint Toastmasters and our community. Today, I would like to celebrate the members on my team and their achievements. Online, we started working with Facebook Lives so that our community could get to know our club without even having to come into our club. This actually has been quite a success, and our videos have literally been watched by hundreds of people. We also promoted our open house online, and I would like to thank right now Oregon Post Today for putting our events on their website. And I would like to thank Christina for the suggestion of talking to them. I would also like to thank Christina for being willing to put flyers out around town. And me is not here, but Brian, I heard that you helped with putting things at Chamber, the flyers.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to thank you for that. And 6 months ago, starting in September, we started submitting articles to Newport News Times. And we had 5 articles that we have submitted so far. This is the article of Kathleen getting her 3rd place in districts. Our article that has Avital's Confident Communicator and my dad and Kathleen's award from a speech contest. Krista Colway's Confident Communicator and me. And then we also have our write-up for the open house that the News Times did, and I would like to thank them for their patience and for their quick responses. I would also like to thank my dad for, Brian is his name, for being able to help make that connection with the News Times. Avital also submitted in February an article to the News Guard as well as the News Times on how Toastmasters has helped her journey as an author, and I'd like to thank her for submitting that for us. She also submitted it into Voices, which is the district magazine. In October, Krista and Lee went on to 100.7 FM, and I'd like to thank them for letting us go on there and do a radio show. Lee and Krista talked about how Toastmasters has helped them on their journey as well as their journey to becoming a Toastmaster. And if you'd like to listen to that, I actually do have a recording of that. It is on Facebook right now as well as our blog, and you can find it on the podcast for Boss FM. Krista, thank you for being willing to go onto the radio, and he's not here, but thank him as well. And then I have this beautiful pink paper. And there you go. These are all of the people who told our community about our open house, and I'd like to thank them all. So bear with me as I read the long list of 10 people. 1310 AM KNPT, 102.7 Kite FM, U92.7 FM, KBCH 1400 AM, KCRF 96.7 FM, KWDP 820 AM, and 100.7 Boss FM. I'd also like to thank the Newport News Times, Oregon Coast Today, and Voices for putting out our open house on March 20th. For our open house, we also had 12 different locations that our flyers went, and the people that I already talked about. 600 people saw our event on Facebook. No, that's completely organic. 13 people said they were interested, 13 people came. And 10 people have watched our events online so far, as of last night. For the last part of my campaign, called Recruiting People, we also presented to several different organizations. In the summer, we presented at Rotary, And at the beginning of the year, we presented at Interact. In January, we presented at the 60 Plus Center and at 4-H in March. And lastly, we presented to several business organizations in our community. At the end of the day, what does this even mean? What is the story behind these numbers? This club is the story behind the numbers. We've done a lot of growing in these last few months, and there have been growing pains. But look at how much we have accomplished as a club. Look at how much we have grown. I believe that every goal and every award won deserves to be celebrated. The dream of this campaign wasn't to get 20 new members. It wasn't to get 50 views on Facebook or on some video. It was to build a bridge between our community and this club. Give them a way to come to our club and to meet who we really are. At this time, I'd like the members of my campaign to please stand and be recognized for all of the work that they have done. And I'll be told to picture it, please. Thank you, Lorelei. All right, Svetlana, what was the time on Lorelei's speech today?
The time of Lorelei's speech was 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
Excellent. As our evaluators take a couple minutes to write down their evaluations for our speakers, we are going to bring Brian up for some fantastic table topics about Mary Poppins. Please let me welcome Brian.
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. I am going to ask Lori. You go out on the ships all the time, and it's got to get nauseous and that type of thing up there. What kind of sugar do you take in order to survive out at sea?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics member, fellow Toastmasters, and lovely guests. It really frustrates me that I didn't used to get seasick at all. I have been on boats my entire life, and I used to go out and I'd be one of 3 people on 4 days of being out in the ocean, and I was one of 3 that didn't get sick. And then as I've gotten older, slowly catches up with me. And the first 24 hours, I'm absolutely miserable. Actually, the first 12 hours, I'm fine. And then the swell, that constant ocean catches up with me, and I'm not very happy. And I've tried all different things. I tried the electronic patches that stimulate your nerves. It's actually an FDA-approved non-drug version for pregnancy that actually works pretty well, except my raincoat has nearly and it knocks it off the spot. And then I get sick. I tried the ear patches. My most recent success has just been Dramamine, and I start taking it a day or 2 before I go. What I haven't found the solution for, though, is what happens when I get back from the sea, and I'm still moving. And it's like, hang on, I'm just to be still. Especially when I'm sitting in front of my computer and I can feel it rocking, or lying in bed and I swear the bed is moving. Or in the shower, for some reason, there's something about showers on ships are built so that you can wedge yourself in there because you have to. They're slippery, right? And there's something about being in the shower outside the land afterwards that it feels like it's still moving. So when I find that drug, I don't mean to be glib, but when I find that, I will let you.
All right. I was trying to think of what a toppin says. Feed the birds. Toppins. Okay. And I figured that a lawyer ought to know what a tuppence is and not just glibly give us any kind of an answer. So Brian, what is a tuppence?
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Master. Tuppence, I believe Elton John's lyricist is named Bernie Tuppence. That's wrong. It's tuppence actually is 2 pennies. It's a coin in the old style British monetary system. 2 pennies, tuppence. I was just sitting here thinking, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. That's awful advice. I actually didn't see Mary Poppins when I was a child. I didn't see the movie until I was grown up, until I was an adult. And so I don't have those fond memories connecting Mary Poppins to childhood. And so I noticed things like, boy, that's terrible advice. And I mean, think about it. Would you let some woman who just floated in on an umbrella look after your kids? Not me. There's something creepy about that.
Thank you, Brian. I'm going to ask our general evaluator. Mary Poppins was practically perfect in every way. Tell us about somebody that you know, other than me, that is practically perfect in every way.
All right. Thank you, Table Topics Master and members and guests. Someone I know who is perfect in every way, I would have to say, is my 7-year-old nephew, Fisher, who just turned 7 yesterday. He's the perfect model of spontaneity and joy and an effortless flow in everything he does. He's still working on how to write his letters, and he still falls down and scuffs his knee, but everything he does with a smile and a great appreciation. And that's it. That's my little brother, my little nephew.
Thank you. Yeah. We're going to do one more. I think we have time for just one more, right? Okay. And this one is going to go to Krista. Krista, there's a part in Mary Poppins where Mary Poppins says supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And then she says something like, not to sound precocious, but she can say it backwards. But she said, but that just sounds ridiculous. And there's a gentleman by the name of Bert that says, indubitably. What the heck is indubitably, and what does that mean? And just don't give us any kind of glib answer.
Well, indubitably, you gave me that question. I don't believe it's possible to say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious backwards. And so indubitably, it is not possible. Indubitably means not possible. We should incorporate that into our everyday vernacular. If somebody asks you to be in 2 places at once, you say indubitably. When my dog goes to steal food off the counter, I can say indubitably. You cannot do that. So I think that shows the brilliance of the man who creates his own vocabulary. And I think we should carry that forth and get that in the dictionary. You know, Webster's will take suggestions. And if they come back, they might say indubitably no.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for this theme because you told me this on Sunday. And I have great memories of my mom taking me and my older brother down to the cinema. We would catch the bus and we would go into St. John's and we would watch the theater. And she she got these passes from the grade school. It was like $2 for 10 movies that they could take us to, and one of them every summer was Mary Poppins. And so I saw Mary Poppins a bazillion times. But thank you, it brought back a lot of great memories. If you can tear off a little piece on a piece of paper and vote for the best table topics and pass it my way. And then we have folks online. If you could PM Laura Lee, and then she'll slip me over those scores as well. And then towards the end of the meeting, we will present the coveted table topics trophy. Thank you.
Great. Those were some fantastic glibing answers today. All right. In building our nest of speaking skills, we gather bits of twine and twigs. With intent with our pursuit, we have a merry crew to help us move our job along. Just a spoonful of sugar, positive, helps the medicine, sometimes our feedback, go down a little bit better. Or in the most delightful way, as Mary Poppins would put it. Our evaluators, let's start with our evaluations for Dave today. We're going to do a round robin. So hopefully you guys have all written down some evaluations for him today. I'm just going to open the floor to anyone who would like to speak. Let's try and keep it to a minute or so of some feedback that he can use to improve his speech that he will be presenting this coming Saturday at the divisional contest. Anyone have some feedback? Krista?
I've had the pleasure of hearing a different version of the speech before. And what I loved about this time was your energy at the very beginning. And of course, your props are always wonderful and they really get the point home. I thought I recall a beginning that you had that was something more along the lines of, I've committed murder, but no one's looking for the body. In fact, you'll never find it. Something like that. I really love the punch of that. So I felt like it was suggested, but it wasn't quite fit. So I love that. The other thing, it's great you don't have the lectern, you're getting ready for the competition. And what I noticed is a watered down version of what I do. I sometimes feel like a caged animal. Like, so there was a bit of shifting foot to foot. So it wasn't that intenseful motion side to side. You did attempt to get both sides of the room, but just watch the back and forth. So those were my suggestions for you. I thought you did an excellent job.
I just want to say, the contest is because I thought you were going to be in it, and I just want to be a racehorse for you. I always think you're winning and going on.
Excellent, Brian.
I want to echo what Krista said, because I've had that pleasure of seeing you in a couple different versions of this as well. I loved how you came up and you pulled the audience in by having the applause and that type of thing. And I think if you were to do that and then do like what Krista said and talk about somebody has been murdered or something, I think that would even make it even better, because I loved how you pulled us in. And so I didn't miss that part. And when Krista said that, I was like, yeah, that's a great part. Nice use of your props, always great. I did notice, as she was saying, that you kind of shifted a little bit, and you didn't have the right side of the room quite as much. You were very much focused on us, and the right side of the room wasn't quite as involved as included. And then the one other thing, and I think the people online, and yes, they probably had a hard time hearing you. And I think because we're going to be in the U of O in that bigger theater, you're going to want to speak up a little more. And you did speak up where you needed to, but I think when you were being intentionally quiet, it needed to be a little bit more, what would you call that? Projection when you're being intentionally quiet. But other than that, And I loved your butterfly metaphor as you were coming out. That's a great, nice job.
Any other feedback for Dave? Lori?
So I knew Dave when he was my man, and I honestly have to say that when you didn't come to meetings, we were all concerned that did he have the heart? I mean, I saw that, and this is such an inspirational speech. Your story is so incredible. You would not believe how many times I think of you when I'm doing something that I really don't want to do. And I'm like, if they could do that, why am I worried about this little task? You're such an inspiration, and your story is so huge. And I totally agree with both Brian and Krista in that I've seen you give this with a little bit more energy. It was a little bit flat this time, and I think the opening and then those first couple sentences really know exactly what you're going to say because you seem to pause like you're trying to capture. I appreciate that you can do this without notes, but really have those really smooth. Say them 3 times that morning before you do this, so you know exactly what you're going to say, and that energy. It is such an inspiring. You are a hero in my opinion, and so be that hero. Stand up there and go get it.
It's not so much a matter of I forgot what to say or anything. I still have issues with the stroke that I have. Even though I have a story like the back of my hand, I have trouble finding my way to the back of my hand.
You know, if you could work that in somehow, that might be a really good way to give yourself a little bit more room and have people explain it. I mean, you know, I think that would be really good. That would be really powerful.
All right, with time, we're gonna move on, but if you have any other feedback, if you guys online, please email or scan it or whatnot to one of us. And we'll pass it on to Dave for his presentation. Dave, good luck this Saturday. You're gonna do fantastic. I would love your speech. Very inspirational, as Lori said. All right, for our next evaluator, we have Krista Colway, who evaluated Lori.
Laura Lee came to me this morning and she said, I didn't do this. She said, my speech is not what this book was asking for this review. She's like, I felt like it was too much me. Well, I must say, I disagree with you. I do feel that you did hit a lot of these bullets. The first one asked how effectively did they summarize their project and experience? Did they adequately cover the scope? I certainly think that you covered that. You covered all the variety of things that you hit on during this campaign. And I understood what that campaign was. And to make room for some of the things down below, I would suggest you could almost have dialed back in scope a little bit. How did the speaker make the talk and leadership experience relevant to the audience? Well, you included us. I mean, this was a celebration, I think, of the club and the members in it, and everyone loves to hear how great they are. So I was definitely drawn in. How successful was the speaker's leadership project? I think we all know is amazingly successful. And not only that, as you were talking about all these milestones that we have made, I know you've done 90-something% of the work, but yet the way you present it is as a team. You celebrated everyone within here, and I just think that that is a hallmark of great leadership. You certainly could have taken credit, and you could have said me during this entire thing, but you didn't. How well did the speaker explain what they learned? What I got out of what you said was how to build a bridge. And I love that. So you could have expanded on that a little bit more, but you were building a bridge from my club to the community. So that's what I got that you learned. How did the speaker use anecdotes to emphasize key points? I didn't hear any of those. But you could have, with all these connection issues, certainly there's stories of how hard you're working with the Zoom and I'm sure could have been an anecdote in there. What could you have done to help better understand the project and your leadership experience? More of what you learned. I use a phrase when I'm training with young observers that it's like herding kittens. And you had to put all these different people and keep them on task and say, you need to do this when you're doing that, and you kept up with it. And so how you balance that work at school and what you learned from that, maybe you could have included that had you shortened some of the scope. But thank you for all your work. You did an amazing job. And this was a great speech.
All right, we never need a reason, we never need a rhyme. We do step in time because we have to speak in time. So, Svetlana, what is the timer's report for today?
For table topics, Lori spoke for 1 minute 46 seconds. Brian spoke for 1 minute 17 seconds after Lori, was it Brian? Then Lakota could have spoken longer. He did only at 48 seconds. Krista spoke for 55 seconds. And the evaluation, which was round robin evaluation, Lori spoke for 1 minute, Brian spoke for 1 minute 33 seconds. The third speaker, I couldn't see that person. He spoke for 1 minute 16 seconds. Yes? And then Krista, the last evaluator, the second evaluator we had, Krista spoke for 2 minutes and 46 seconds. That's it.
All right, thank you. All right. Last but not quite least, Lakota, would you give us a report of our meeting today?
Yes. So today's meeting started on time, and I would like to just echo something that Svetlana had mentioned in her last general evaluation, just the wonderful, warm, inviting family environment we have in this club. It's just incredible. It's professional. We start on time. We take care of business, but we have a lot of fun doing it. And it just feels like a group of friends meeting for breakfast and having a great time, practicing in the safe, fun environment. It's great. Our host, Brian, very welcoming introductions, making members and guests alike feel comfortable and welcomed. Our Toastmaster today, a last-minute fill-in, incredible willingness and incredible preparation for such short amount of time. The Mary Poppins theme, very fun. Mary Poppins, because why not, right? The rhyming transitions that were part of the Mary Poppins theme were really fun as well. And excellent job on the Toastmasters' part for addressing the online audience. I felt really included with a lot of eye contact through the camera screen. Our timekeeper, Svetlana, brilliant idea with the background. What a great way to share that information so clearly. I thought that was really fun and seemed very effective. And then playful idea with the fly swatter. I don't think I saw the fly swatter, but that was great. And let's see, table topics. Brian Norris with the Mary Poppins theme again. Playful, creative transitions, great demonstration of folks thinking creatively and spontaneously on their feet. Evaluations, the round robin for Dave, I thought was a really fun and creative way to do evaluations, and it offers a variety of different perspectives. The one thing I saw that maybe we could consider doing differently at some point the next time we do a round robin is shorter evaluations would offer a larger variety of voices. The Krista's evaluation for Laura Lee, spirited, great presence at the lectern. I love the description of, it was a celebration of the club and the members in it, and describing her hallmark of great leadership, taking responsibility and sharing the praise. All in all, a very fun meeting and fun topics and great presentations. Thanks, everybody.
Excuse me, one hour Marion report. Lori, can you give us a quick report?
Yes. I get it on. Brian, Krista, Christina, myself, and all able to fit in the keep an eye on it. And many of us also did. But
Thank you. And Brian, would you like to present our table topic board?
Absolutely. Thank you for all of your online votes as well. And with all of the votes in, Krista is the winner. So come on down.
That must just be because that was such a hard question.
Well, it was such a good answer.
and actually,
There you go.
Excellent. For time, I want to say my last little bit, but thank you guys so much for a fantastic meeting. I'd like to turn it back over to Brian. Thank you for letting me be Toastmaster and going along with my team. Thank you guys.